Just look at the flowers. Just look at the flowers. Hello, my friends. I'd like to introduce you to the Maverick V3. This is a Flyte from the patch store. My first saber was a Maverick. It was the V2. And eventually I'll do a comparison video of that. So it kind of resembles a Revan style hilt, which is, well, this one's predominantly brushed steel with black highlights. It uses a core system very much like an LGT or any of the other cores that you might rely on, TXQ, whatnot. There's the activation switch. It uses a USB-C for recharge port, and you can also update the sound fonts. Saber comes with 6 sound fonts. They're stock sound fonts, in my opinion, aren't very good, so I've replaced them all. I don't even have the original sound fonts, available for this saber. I just have what I've installed. So eventually, when I demo this saber, you're just going to hear the sound fonts that I've installed. They're all basically Kyberphonic or K-Sith. So one thing that I want to make abundantly clear to everyone is that when I received my saber, I had an issue with the soundboard firing off. The sensitivity of it was a little high, so you would get random clashes or the lockup would kick off, and it was kind of a major issue. The saber was more or less useless, regardless of which volume that I used it on. So what I did, the solution, I was talking to the patch store to try to find an alternate, core or some kind of way of fixing the issue. What I ended up doing was I removed the screws here. And it works, like I said, very much like an LGT or a TXQ. There's no screws on the back. And I removed the pommel. And by the way, one thing I forgot to mention is that they tap out a little hole in case you want to add a cover tech, which I've opted not to do with this hilt because it's very smooth and flows very well in the hand without the cover tech. So I'm just going to leave it. Anyway, so you can push this in, and the core slides out, as one would expect. And on the end of the core itself, I actually just wrapped in some tape. And then I reinserted it into the hilt. And the effect was basically, it acts as a shock absorber. And it makes it so basically the saber functions as intended without any issues. It's kind of in here tight, which is why I'm not showing that to you, why I'm not removing it, because I don't want to, if it's not broke, I don't want to fiddle with it. It's working fine. And I'm just going to leave it at that. And so the finish, like I said, is kind of a brushed steel, very smooth. All of this is metal. All this is aluminum. I know that this particular hilt design doesn't hit for everybody, but for me, mostly due to nostalgia, I wanted to make sure that I grab one of the newer versions of this, and I might actually grab the dark version as well because it is still available. This is the only Flyte that isn't NeoPixel, so it has far less features, as you'll see when I get to the demo, and but the features that it does have are very gratifying, and the saber is very responsive. I do not use the patch store's blade. This is a satin finish 30-inch blade, a lightweight 1-inch 30-inch blade from the Saber Merchant, which is my preferred type of blade. They illuminate quite well, and I've always been happy with those blades. They suit my purposes, and they're my go-to. Okay, so the Saber does include a recharge cable, as one would expect, and it came with a blade. Didn't really include too much else, not that I can remember. I don't think it came with extra screws or uh, Allen key or anything like that, as you would expect. It just basically came in a tube, as a lot of patch stores Sabers do come. Saber turns on simply enough by pushing the button.
Surrender or face the consequences.
You'll hear the boot up sound for the most recent sound font that you used. I've got what do they call it? The Sorcerer. I think that's a Kyberphonic sound font for Ahsoka Tano. Saber has gesture control. It only rotates to turn on. So you have smooth swing, and as you can hear, you also have accent swings, which is really nice. The other features that you have blaster deflect, but you have to kind of fire in a slow succession, because if you double tap, it'll mute the Saber. Now, the Saber has 4 different volume levels and mute. It has 25%, 50, 75, and 100%, and it has mute. So when you double tap, you get 25%. Double tap again, you get 50. Double tap again, get 75, and double tap one more time, you get full volume. It's not the loudest Saber. Here, let me show you. You can see that the speaker is pretty much right there, so there's not too much resonance. You're talking about maybe a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch of resonance, so you know, it is what it is. As far as lockup, you want to hold the button, tap it. You can release the button after a second or two. Tap the button again to have that turn off. As far as color changing, it's a matter of holding the button and twisting. I didn't mean for the Saber to turn off. So you want to rotate it to the left, because rotating it to the right is for turning the Saber off.
Corner switch. Corner switch.
The purple on this is very nice. It's very purpley. It's very purplish purple. It's very gratifying. Mace Windu would be proud.
Corner switch. Corner switch. Corner switch.
I think that's pretty much it. We'll go through it one more time.
Corner switch.
So we get a fuchsia,
Corner switch.
a gratifying guardian blue, green,
Corner switch.
red,
Corner switch.
white. Actually, I think that's where we began, so I'll leave it there. So a nice white for Ahsoka Tano. Clashes do give you a flash on clash, and I'll do the lockup one more time. So just kind of flash on clash flickers. To turn the Saber off, you turn it to the right. Turn it to the right to turn it back on. And for changing the fonts with the Saber off, you turn it to the left.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan?
One of the nice things about this Saber is that it will actually hold on to your color profile for the individual fonts.
Surrender or face the consequences.
I butchered that.
Have you come to destroy me, Obi-Wan? Are you a Jedi? I am.
In the end, you belong to neither the light nor the darkness. You will forever stand alone.
I am Kanan Jarrus, Jedi Knight. I will do what I must.
And back to the original.
Surrender or face the consequences.
And to turn the saber off, you just hold the button
Power off.
and it turns right off for you. So overall, the features on the saber are rather gratifying. The blade is bright, depending on the blade that you use. Like I said, I don't really use the original factory provided patch store blades. I don't think they're very good. I don't think that they're very bright. The diffusion just isn't there. Whereas with the Saber Merchant blades, they're diffused rather nicely, and the satin finish also helps. So I'll put a link to the Saber Merchant because I think they're the best place to buy blades. But overall, I do love this saber. It's a fine addition to my collection, and it's the saber that I pick up most if I just want to screw around and have a good time and get some flow on and practice. And there you go. There you have it. So hope you enjoyed this review. Please comment if you have any questions regarding anything to do with the patch store and or this saber. Like the video, subscribe if possible. It'll help me with the algorithm and make my channel hopefully more successful. I've been trying to get around to making content, but it's so few and far between. Life is kind of a complex mess. So, but I do what I can. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.